Cyberpunk 2077. So,
Yes.
PlayStation does something for a few games if you're subscribed to PS Plus that I wish every game platform did for free. It allows you to demo games for a a limited period of time, usually 5 hours, depending on the game. And the time, of course, should vary depending on the game. But
Right.
demos need to make a more widespread comeback because
Yeah.
playing this demo after 2.0 update came out on the 27th convinced me to buy the game and the DLC.
Wow.
This game's so good because I got sucked in after 5 hours when the title card finally appeared after this big mission. It was just it's hard to describe. The gameplay was just plain fun, but as we approached the title card, the plot got thicker and thicker until we hit this huge turning point with the introduction of Keanu Reeves himself, Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah.
And Keanu Reeves is amazing as Johnny Silverhand. I was led to believe that he was a textbook example that we talked about earlier of like a celebrity casting that just doesn't pan out and is very
Right.
stilted. It's not. He plays the role of an anarchist rocker perfectly, and it does not feel like any character I've ever seen him play before.
Ooh.
Like he's legitimately just a really good voice actor in this, and he also did mocap. So like, yeah, it's amazing. Johnny Silverhand is a
Yeah.
great character. Um, but yeah, there was a period of time after the title card where I just didn't have a car due to story reasons. It got destroyed, and it was getting fixed, and I didn't have enough money to buy a new one, and it sucked because I was just running around the city, and
Oh.
it's a very like if this was a real world, it'd be fine because it's a very walkable city. It's kind of like New York in that way. Um, but like without a vehicle, it's hard to explore. But once I finally got a car, I got enough money to buy a car.
Right.
It was really fun exploring Night City. But honestly, I enjoyed exploring the Badlands desert outside of the city more. Weirdly enough,
Ooh.
at the beginning of the game, you can choose between three life paths: Nomad, Street Kid, and Corpo. And I chose Nomad, which means I started in the desert after leaving my Nomad clan when they merged with another one. So nomads are scrappy and resourceful people who pride themselves in their strong family dynamics, forming clans that function similarly to small communities. And there's one character that I fell in love with named Panam, who is also a nomad, and that I'm desperately trying to romance. But so I randomly looked it up to be like, okay, would it even be possible? Because I heard a long time ago that some of the romances are locked behind, like depending on which gender you choose for the character, which I
Mm.
think, I mean, I think it's fine. I don't know, man. I feel like it's fine if they're gay, but I'm like, don't make them hard straight.
Right.
Because I usually when I make a game, I make a female version of myself every time.
Mm.
I usually do that,
Right.
and I did that this time, and I'm like, I did a little bit of research to randomly to see, okay, would it even be possible? And I think I only saw it one place, and then every other place didn't mention it. So maybe it doesn't matter which gender your character is. But I hope Panam isn't just into guys, because I'm like, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. I need her in my life.
Real.
But yeah, the combat is really fun. Naturally, at the beginning, I was a little confused and tried a little bit of everything. But once I figured out what I liked, I spec'd into reflexes and cool, which reflexes increases like your sword skills, and cool increases your stealth skills. So I basically became a ninja and just stopped using
Nice.
guns, and I mostly use a sword, and it's great. Like anytime I pull out a gun, I low key just get slowed down and get shot a lot. So I'm just like, if I pull out my sword, I can block bullets and move really fast. And
Right.
also, there's the ability to like enhance yourself with like robot parts. Oh my god, I I can talk about this game all day. The world is just so interesting. This is why they made an anime, which is also canon to the game,
Yep.
because there's a mission. It takes place a year. The Edge Runners takes place a year before the game, and there's a mission where you can call the dude that survived, the dude that drove the car for him,
Mm.
and he'll give you what's his name's jacket,
Yeah.
and I've been wearing it ever since I got it. I'm never taking it off.
Real.
Rest in peace, my man Martinez. But
Yeah.
well, like I said, my bad. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
That's Butter's life.
I didn't even think about it. I just said it. My bad for y'all who haven't seen it. I'm gonna cut that out. Well, I'm gonna put a spoiler alert because that was crazy.
Right. The casual spoilers
They're
was
probably somebody watching this on the second episode like, damn son, I didn't know he died.
right.
He didn't just die. Everybody. No, I'm joking.
Dang.
But that's not even true. Not everybody died. Um, but yeah, it's so fun. It's hard to describe how fun it is. I downloaded the DLC last night, and I'm going to finish it before the last mission because it changes the ending, from what I understand, and also it's essentially what happens in that area is meant to take place in the middle of the story. Like it's not meant to be done like directly after the story. I think whatever happens at the end of the game is kind of definite. So yeah. I kind of did it late because I didn't realize it because I think I looked up something about that, and then somebody mentioned that the last mission was called Nocturne. I was like, okay, cool, and I didn't realize how much of the game I was playing because I'm playing, and then next thing you know, there's this really big moment between Johnny and the character, and then he's like, yeah, go do this thing for me, then we go do that other thing, and then I see the name of the mission and it says Nocturne, and I'm like, huh? And then I paused, and this was like 20 minutes after I downloaded the DLC. And then I paused the screen and I see there's a little indicator at the top that tells you how much you have left in the story. And it says 90%. And I said, huh? What do you mean? And I realized I've been playing this game for 10 hours every day. And that's how that happened. Because I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. I haven't been playing this game that much. Yes, I have. Whenever I'm not working or eating or sleeping, I'm playing the game.
Oh. See, now you're making me want to get it and play it because I have very mixed feelings about Cyberpunk.
I'm not. It was discounted on PlayStation, so it's probably already also discounted everyone else too.
Nice.
It was $31, but the thing is, the way they get you is that the DLC is like $29 or something like that, or like $25. So it's like the combined purchase of the DLC and the game is just the price of a full game.
I was going to say retail game.
It's just the price of a retail game. So, I mean, you could just buy the base game and then wait for the DLC to get discounted.
Right.
Or if you have the money or you just want to, you could get both. But at the very least, play the base game. The 2.0 update, like drastically changes the upgrade system and makes it so much simpler and more fun, from what it was originally. And so, to explain a little bit before we wrap up how it works is that I tried at the beginning to do a little bit of net running, which is kind of like hacking. And at first, I didn't think I wanted to do it because I thought it would be too cumbersome. But it's not. It's actually very easy. They literally call it quick hacking. And you just hold R1 on the controller or the right bumper, and like time slows down, and you just select what you want to do. And you could like hack people and like impair their vision so they have a hard time aiming, or like set them on fire if they have like cybernetics and stuff. It's really cool. And like I'm like, it's hard for me to really just talk about this because there's so much cool stuff that I just want to talk about everything. Like I started talking about cybernetics and then started talking about something else. Like you can upgrade your character's internals. I started talking about edge runners because that's a big part of that story. That's why I got distracted. And I can double jump because I have like enhanced tendons or something. And I have the Sandevis stand, which is the thing that Martinez has in the show, which like slows down time and has him. Well, he moves regular speed, but everybody else moves slower. Well, technically, he's moving faster. And other people were moving really fast, and I was like, why is this person moving so fast? And then I scanned them. I was like, oh, they also have a Sandevis stand. And that's why they can move so fast. But the Sandevis stand is cool. Especially works great with a sword, because you're moving regular speed. Well, I keep saying that because the way it's described when you read it is that everybody slows down and you move regular speed. But in reality, it's you moving faster and everyone else is moving their regular speed. That's how it works technically. And with the sword, I just slow down everything and just run around and murder everyone. I kill everything in like 2 sword swipes. I'm almost too powerful now, and I'm like, I should have got the DLC earlier because now I'm about to just absolutely run through this DLC because I'm too powerful.
Real?
Because I think I'm almost max level in reflex, which is the sword skills. And I'm same thing with cool. There's a whole section of it that you can kind of ignore that has to do with stuff that I'm just like, I don't use shotguns and SMG, so it doesn't matter. That's not true, actually. I just recently started using a lot of shotguns. But it's just so fun. And like I would advise, just other than reviews, don't watch anything and just go into it blind because it's so good. It's so good. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
fun. And the thing
Bet.
is, the reality is, this is what the game has always been. The only thing that was different was, of course, the upgrades. There were some small, not small, but kind of integral mechanics that weren't great and needed to be tweaked and made better. And then it was just glitchy. It was buggy. But in terms of story, the thing that was always there was the story and a lot of the gameplay mechanics. So
Hmm.
this really, some gameplay mechanics also changed also, but they essentially refined it, and it still isn't what they promised, which makes sense because just the executives over at CD Projekt Red kind of just messed them up, and they weren't able to make the game the way they should have. Um, but we talked about it before. A sequel was announced, so they're making another game, and
Oh, nice.
that game is likely going to have everything that this game didn't have plus more, which is great.
Nice.
And I'm not going to pre-order it as much as I would love to because I was already burned by CD
Uh-huh.
Projekt Red, and as good as this game was, and I'm sure the next one will be better, I just I still can't fully trust the people above the developers who tell them what to do that they're going to learn their. I can't trust that they've learned their lesson and that they
Right.
won't have them release a half-finished mess again. So I'm for
Right.
sure this time going to actually wait for reviews for the second game before buying it, but I'm almost certain I'll probably like see reviews the day of and then pre-order it that night and pre-download and play it at midnight like I usually do. But I'm still gonna wait for reviews. Um, but yeah, stuff that wasn't there was like they promised you would be able to like customize vehicles like you can in like GTA. Like there's some stuff that like a lot of things like this was meant to be kind of like a RPG GTA, and
Mm.
it is, but not at the same time because there's stuff you can do in GTA that was supposed to be in this that you can't like customize your vehicles just straight up. You can't do that in this game, but
Right.
that's something I really want into next games because specifically, and you can tell it probably was supposed to be a big mechanic because the nomads specifically, there's this thing with them where like vehicles are really important to them. So it's like it feels like you should as a nomad be a really good mechanic and be able to make this really cool customized vehicle, but you can't. So
Uh,
I hope that's something they add in the next game, and I'm just curious into how they're going to expand the map itself if they even are, which I assume they will because usually that's what they do with
right.
open world games. Because it takes place in like Night City is. I think I forget the lore because it's been years since I watched the initial videos that they were releasing when they were advertising and talking about the lore, where like Night City is like technically separate from the United States and it's in California and it's like a part of I think actually I think the entirety of California got like became its own country and that
Uh-huh.
I can't remember exactly. So there's like the United States exists like the rest of like as weird as it because when you watch Edge Runners and when you play the game it low-key feels like the rest of the country might like it feels like it's a desolate wasteland even though you don't see it and you only hear about it. It feels like the rest of the world is gone for some reason. It's really weird
Right.
how it feels that way, but people talk about like one of the characters talks about going to Singapore and then coming back. So it's like the world is dystopian, but not to the point to where you can't travel internationally, or like the entire world is a trash heap or destroyed. Like there are other cities like Night City, so I'll be surprised if you can visit. Like they mention like other parts of California in the game, so it's like I wouldn't be surprised if they add other parts of California to the game,
Hmm.
or just straight up have the game take place in it. Because I don't know how the game ends. For all I know, the main character dies. For all I know, so um, it could just take place in a different city for all we know. But Night City feels a little too iconic to change. But I don't know that much about the world of Cyberpunk to know if there are any other iconic fictional cities within it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just to see where this franchise goes, and hopefully it
Yeah.
becomes a franchise, and we get more anime and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be really nice.